This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago, coming from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z, featuring Ivan Vargas from The Tape Never Lies. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, Big Z? How are you?
No, man, it is bear season now because, my baseball season's over, so it is legit bear season for me.
We're gonna talk about
I know you're gonna go in on me, and you know what? I definitely deserve it, just like my sad ass team deserves to be spanked. Episode 157 is brought to you by 606 Media, true Chicago sports fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. You can find us on the socials. You can find us at IG, True Chicago Sports Fans, 606 Media Group, Big Z _ 606 Media Group. Ivan, what's your socials?
I just got the X app now, so it's Ivan V _ TTNL.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and follow him for your Bears news. Don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and click on the support button, and you can subscribe for little as 99 cents a month. So, Ivan, what's been going on since the last time we talked to you? It's been a couple weeks, so what's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. Just continuing to keep an eye on the Chicago Bears and still being hopeful that these Cubs hold on to that wild card spot. I think there's like a 3-way tie and stuff like that. But other than that, nothing much, man. Like, it just been kind of a chill couple weeks. Just excited for football season.
Oh God, that's awesome. You didn't go to their water show?
No,
it's actually going on right now.
Yeah, no, I know it's going on right now. Actually, it was funny. My dog went nuts yesterday because he picked up the jet noise before I did. So I'm looking at him like, "What are you doing, bro?" Like, what? And then I realized I'm like, "Oh, okay. It's you caught the jet. Like, you heard it before. Like 15, 20 seconds before it even.
Of course,
I even heard it. So I realized that he was being tormented a little bit by the noise. But I don't really like, after being in the Navy and like seeing.
First time
on an aircraft carrier on the deck, like seeing him take off, seeing them land, seeing them, you know what I mean? I'm impressed still, but I don't need to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen it plenty of times. So.
It's like you work in the food industry and you're like, let me go check out the kitchen, see how they make food.
Right.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, exactly.
Just bring me my steak. I actually went on Friday. I went to the lake. I parked at 31st Street, and then I took a walk. I walked all the way to the Shed Aquarium, and then I caught about 2 hours worth of the practice. So I was like, this is good enough for me. There's no crowd. I'm on the Shed Aquarium, campus. I get to see them. I got to see the Blue Angels and the other ones. I mean, they were literally put on a show, and I was like, how close are they when they're in that formation? I wanted to know, is it 30 feet?
Yeah.
20 feet? I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah. I'm not going to go ahead and guesstimate, but I would imagine it being down to maybe under 20 feet, maybe 50, maybe 25, something like that.
I mean, that's some impressive things to do what they do. I think I seen one go up to the stratosphere and then I lost it I was like, where'd it go? Like, those guys are impressive in what they do. So I was enjoying it. Unfortunately, I don't have any friends that have boats, or else I would have been on a boat watching that stuff, because that looks pretty cool to do.
I know. We got to find some boat friends.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Got to find boat friends.
Some Catalina wine mixer boat friends.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I do. I seen the No Water on the Weekend guys this week. Filled in bowling with them. I bowled like shit. My regular week bowled like shit, so I don't want to talk about bowling. The good thing about bowling is there's always next week to redeem yourself. Let's see, anything else I did? No, I think that's pretty much it. Just literally been cleaning my place out. And my place like a damn warehouse, because I have all my teaching supplies and then all the accumulation of bullshit I have here. I mean, the office is pretty clean in here, but you have a sweet office, dude. All that bear stuff and
but trust me, I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this place could be clean too. This place could be a little bit cleaner. So
Yeah, I got too much memorabilia. It's all housed in this room and in the living room where I have all my White Sox stuff. But it's a lot. It feels like the house is exploding with sports stuff.
Looks good though, man.
Thanks, brother. All right, in this episode, we're going to break down Game 2 of the Bears preseason, and we're going to check in on our baseball teams to see how they're doing. All that and much more with Stirring the Pot and what you're looking at. So let's get started with the Big Three with Big Z. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Big Z, and you guys are not. So let's start with story number 1. I'm gonna try to make Ivan laugh.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know what you would do in this situation for story number 1. You find 70 pounds of cocaine floating in the ocean while you're fishing.
Oh man, what would I do?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'd make a few phone calls to some people who know what they do. I would call people who know what they would do, and then I'd be like, "All right, here you go."
you would refer to the experts.
Here's this, and now you give me something else in return, and we could call it a day.
Hypothetically, if I found some baking soda,
right?
Yeah, the mayor of Tampa, Florida, found a big catch when she found 70 pounds of cocaine floating in the Atlantic Ocean. She discovered it on July 23rd on a fishing trip with her family. She was a police officer, so I'm guessing, she did the right thing. I don't know, me and you, someone who doesn't make that much money, might have been a different story.
I mean, yeah, you could just. I wish you could just sell it back to the government, but that's a different story.
Yeah, like
right?
like when you find a firearm, they give you a gift card, that kind of exchange. Like, hey man, I just found
I found like 70 pounds of cocaine. Can I exchange it for some money, please? Like you guys do with it what you will.
Yeah, just give me a third of it, because it was street value of $1.1 million.
I'm good with 100,000.
Okay, that's 10%. That's 10% finder fee, right?
There you go.
Oh my god, I it's funny because I'm looking at the image and these
recording stopped.
What the hell? Oh, I know why. Anyways, the bricks have a butterfly on them with like pink and purple and bluish thing. So I mean, that's how you can tell who made them and what cartel is part of it. So
right.
Oh yeah, I definitely would make.
I mean, but like it's like you with your family and like you're the mayor. It's like, how do you, like, what do you do now? It's like here's the problem. Like the problem's in your backyard.
Right.
Like
she's like scooping it out and shit.
Right.
Mom, what you gonna do with that? I'm gonna turn it in.
Shut up. Don't shut up. Don't talk. Go down. Go down to the other room.
Yeah,
go to the other room.
Go below deck. Right. All right. Story number 2, and this one I think is gonna hurt if it bit you. A spider bite that can cause permanent boners. Yeah. A supermarket in Austria was evacuated after a highly venomous spider was spotted in a store. The creature has a bite that can not only kill, but cause permanent erections. The deadly arachnoid in question is Brazilian wandering spider and is reportedly spotted in the store. The creature has reached Europe before and usually hiding in bunches of bananas being shipped to the store. It is a 4-inch black and red spider, apparently, that popped up in a supermarket, which is where in Austria, but they had to shut that whole place down because it was super scary. It's an ugly looking spider, but I don't know, man. I mean, a permanent erection, can you deal with that?
I think, isn't there, remember that show 1,000 Ways to Die, or like
yes,
whatever it was?
Yeah.
I think they did a episode about this exact spider where like the dude got bit, he had a boner for forever, and then like he died.
No.
Because of, like, something, because there's something like with the venom of the spider, like you have this boner, but then like all of a sudden you die, like you can't get rid of it, and then I'm like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure I heard of this before.
I mean, you should be a boner expert.
Right, I'm an expert in boners. Boner expert.
Bring in the expert.
Bring in the boner expert, please.
That's on your badge, boner expert.
Boner expert.
I mean, so what if I give you a would you rather? Would you rather have this happen to where you have a permanent erection, or where it would diminish your? I mean, obviously you don't want to diminish your libido forever. So it's like, which one would you want?
I don't know. I would a regular one, a plain old regular one. I don't know. Like I wouldn't. Like obviously you could have some fun.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I'm looking it up right now. I'm pretty sure after a while with that spider, you die. Like I'm pretty sure that's it. It doesn't go away, and then like something happens like to you where you like either have an aneurysm or some type of crap.
Yeah, I mean, it would be dangerous, but it would be a lot of fun, and especially if you found story number 1 and then got bitten by story number 2. You found 70 kilos of cocaine and permanent erection. You have a lot of fun.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You got one in one hand and then you got the other in the other hand.
Woo, that'd be a great weekend. That's a movie right there. Story number 3, and this is kind of sad, and I'm going to hit a little bit of your childhood, and hopefully you do remember this show. Do you remember the show King of the Hill?
Of course.
Oh, man. I love that show. So earlier this year, his name is it Chad Hardwick or something like that? Johnny Hardwick, who voiced Dale Gribble, passed away at 64. I mean, he was one of the funniest characters on there, and he was created by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels. And if you don't know their work, go look them up. They have funny shit all over the place. But King of the Hill ran from 97 to 2010. He was a writer, editor, producer, and voiced a character, so he was integral to the show. And they were supposed to be reviving it for Hulu. So, tell me a little bit about your experience with King of the Hill.
Bro, I mean, I remember watching when it first came out back in the day. I was obviously into The Simpsons, a little bit, but that was like the first like non-Simpsons, animated cartoon that I was into, like more the adult side, you know what I mean?
Right.
But King of the Hill, dude, every time I watch King of the Hill and I watch the reruns now, it's like I always find something funny that I missed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it be somebody saying something slick or whatever, always find something, that you miss. But with that, Dale's character, Dale Gribble, like you have classic lines, you got classic episodes. It's unfortunate because I know they're having a revival, right? Like King of the Hill's coming back or something like that, with where it's like a fast forward into the future. Right. So it's gonna be disappointing, obviously not having, the original voice of Dale Gribble there, and yeah, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be a little different, but hopefully they have a good plan to make the show, good writers to make this show good. Because I mean, the original King of the Hill was just fantastic.
It sure was, and if people don't know, it was a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead.
I did not know.
Yeah. It was like one of those spinoffs of Beavis and Butthead, and it was it's just like The Simpsons in its early age. It was the animation was grimy and all that stuff, but yeah. Mr. Hank Hill was one of the spinoffs. So, what I think I read was that that he voiced already some episodes. So I don't know what they're gonna do as far as giving him an arc for an exit. But they're very smart dudes over there and chicks that do all the writing. So I'm pretty sure that they'll write it out correctly, and they will do them some honor. Like I did see a meme of the guys in the alley drinking, and it was just his hat on the floor.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, like you see stuff like that, and you're like, damn, like. It's right. Like Dale's gone. Like, what are they gonna? How I want to know how they're gonna write that in, if they even do write it in. Right. Or maybe they go ahead and they find another voice actor. To play Dale. But
AI, right? AI does that shit now.
Oh, that's right. AI can do that shit. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the character's in. The revival. Like I would definitely want to see Dale Gribble in the revival. Maybe they could do something where he's like, I don't know, where he fakes his own death. Right. That's something Dale would do.
Right, because wasn't Dale's wife cheating on him all the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can write it off so easily with that. Somebody kills him for finding him with his wife, somebody with his wife and whatever. But it's sad because it's like the voices of our youth and our actors of our youth are passing away, and it's like Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman.
Right.
When he passed away, and then you have Mark Hamill, who said, "I will never voice the Joker anymore because he was my partner. He was the only person I can bounce off like that." And he's like, "I won't bounce. I won't do the Joker voice ever again." So it takes a toll on the rest of the cast, especially if you're doing it for so many years and you have that camaraderie and that family atmosphere. So rest in peace, Mr. Johnny Hardwick. You will be missed, and you best believe we will be watching some more King of the Hill just to honor you.
No doubt.
All right, I am Big Z, and that's news to me. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, this is Mikey O, and you're listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Don't forget to visit Mikey O at Mikey O Show or www.MikeyOShow.com.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z featuring Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. You know what time? It is Bears time, man. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh boy. This is 3 and Out. All right, so I enjoy watching the Bears because I love Bears, and I don't want to. I'm not a person that breaks down every nitty gritty thing with the Bears, but I know you do, and that's your passion is the Bears. So for 3 and Out, I want 3 good things and 1 thing we should punt out.
3 good and 1 thing we should punt out. Okay, I think I got it. Ready
Awesome.
to
Go for
I
it.
think I got them. Okay, so let's do the 3 good things first.
Yeah.
Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback for the Chicago Bears, I think
He was slinging it.
He looks very good. I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that, we're talking about Tom Brady or something like that.
No.
But from what I've seen, his comfortability in the pocket, the way he throws the football, his accuracy, his demeanor, on the football field, the kid looks like he belongs in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I know it's just a couple of preseason games, but if you're somebody like me who's like into it and loves the game of football and loves watching, all the stuff that, regular fans either they get, too bored with or don't really understand, like he just looks the part. He looks like, and he's delivering in his play. So for me, like Tyson Bagent is one of the bright spots for the Chicago Bears this preseason. I hope that he gets wins the second QB job, because I think as the Bears, as an organization where you're going, you don't need to go ahead and look back to a Nathan Peterman or a PJ Walker even. It's like, do we need to see what they have? No. We already know what they have. So, Tyson Bagent coming in and looking pretty good here in the first couple games. I think it really puts the pressure on the Bears to make a decision between Peterman and PJ Walker, because I think Bagent is going to be, I think he's safe. I don't think they're going to allow him to
walk away.
How do I say it? They're not going to allow him to go to the waiver wire so he could get picked up by another team, because you have to go through. They have to drop the player. He has to pass through waivers before you could put him
on practice squad.
on the practice squad. Correct. So I don't think you could risk a Tyson Bagent slipping out and somebody just saying, "Hey, I picked him up," and look at and he becomes something like that would be devastating. And it's something the Bears haven't done is develop somebody, any quarterback really, but develop a quarterback that, is a young guy who is a quote unquote project. Like they've never been able to do any of that. So if this kid, and like I said, he doesn't look like a project to me out there, but if this kid could continue in his trajectory, he's going to be the number 2 guy behind Justin Fields. Number 2 thing that I saw, Roschon Johnson, I give him the way he runs the football, the way he's out there all the time. Special teams, he's out there, offense obviously, but when you see him run the football, he's got this aggressiveness and this will to keep going forward. You never see him 100%. Get pushed back. You never see him get driven back. Yeah. He's always going forward. And he just seems to me that the way that they've described him as being a leader, being a guy that's the first guy out there, he's the last guy, as hard of a worker as that they've alluded to he is, I see it. You could see it. You're starting to see it, especially when he's out there more and more. The more time he gets with the first team offense, I think the better he's going to be. I really think about the middle of the season, you're going to have a real good problem with 3 pretty solid running backs in Herbert, Foreman, and in Roschon Johnson, even Travis Homer. Homer's not don't sleep on him because he can run the football as well. He's a pretty solid back in his own right. The guy that I would say is the odd man out would probably be Travis Ebner. Okay. I know we got hurt last year, first preseason game, but he wasn't impressive last season when he was the 3rd guy. He wasn't impressive this postseason, this preseason at all in training camp or in any of the game that he did play. I think he's going to end up being the odd guy out. I really do. 3rd, I would say, that secondary, the young guys on defense. The younger guys on defense, they look like they still need work. Obviously, they're still young. But a guy like Tyreek Stevenson, who's honestly, I think he might be, when it's all said and done, I think he might end up being cornerback number 1 for the Chicago Bears. I really do. I really do. He missed out on another interception, which you gotta start making these plays, right?
Is that the one in the end zone?
He's going to get one.
Was that the one in the end zone went through his hands?
Right. Okay.
And
then he missed one, I think the week before, same way.
Yeah.
He undercut it, but he just missed it. I think he's going to get his hands on a few footballs this season, quite a few footballs actually. I think he might. I want to go ahead and just say I could see him with 6 to 7 interceptions.
He does look like a ball hawk.
Yeah, because he's very aggressive, and not only in the air, not only when the ball's in the air, but as soon as the receiver or running back is making a catch, he's there to wrap and hit your ass. He's not an arm tackler like some of the cornerbacks that we see. He doesn't shy away from it. He actually looks like he relishes it, and he goes, it's 110% when he makes these tackles, and I really enjoy seeing that. But yeah, I would say the 3rd best thing would be that young secondary. Obviously Brisker is going to be a big part of it. Eddie Jackson. Right. You have Jalen Johnson, who knows what he's going to, become. And then, Kyler Gordon obviously has been a force out there. He's been turning a lot of heads. So young secondary would be my 3rd positive. One that we're going to punt away, it's got to be Peterman and PJ Walker.
I was going to ask
backup quarterbacks.
I was going to ask you about that
2 quarterbacks.
Because the young kid, I was watching a little bit at the bar, and I'm like, this kid is rolling out to the right and in motion, just in the breadbasket as the receiver's running in motion, just right there, perfect. Like you said, his accuracy is undeniable when you're seeing that. Yeah, he's getting rushed out of the pocket. Yeah, well, our 4th line ain't that great, so he's making the best out of it. He's reading the defense great. He sees the rush coming in. He dumps it off to the running back. Here you go, kid. You'll get 4 or 5 yards. And like you said, he's falling forward, always falling forward, pushing that the pile, or when he gets wrapped up, still moving his feet. So I agree with you. I don't see, because PJ Walker is more like Justin Fields and is kind of the way he throws and way he is a quarterback.
Yeah, they're hoping for that. That's why they signed him.
Right.
They're hoping for that. But like I said, bro, the way I've been seeing it in training camp when I was there, at Family Fest, during the games here when we're watching it, PJ Walker just does not seem to have any type of
urgency.
He just doesn't seem comfortable. He's not settled. Like everything just seems like PJ Walker's winging it at best when he's out there getting playing football. So I don't know. His accuracy's off. He's like I said, he seems lost out there. Nathan Peterman, I can't really knock him as much, but he's not. I mean, he's a guy that's.
He's a journeyman.
He's just another guy. He's going to be a backup quarterback. He's going to probably sign with somebody else if he doesn't sign with Chicago.
Right. He's a journeyman.
Yeah, he's a journeyman, but you're not getting anything. Like you're not like Nathan Peterman isn't pushing a button, right? He's not tipping the meter, dude, for you. So it's like, why waste time? You know what I mean? In a roster spot on a guy who, is already proven what he is in the NFL. And, especially with a younger guy who can be snatched up out from under you in a blink of an eye if you screw around and let him go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not many good quarterbacks out there. And especially there's not many good backup quarterbacks. So using this kid who has that energy, that fire, looks like he can read a defense. He's comfortable with pressure. He looked really, really good. And I'm gonna have to agree with you. He's got to be the number 2 quarterback. PJ does not look like he belongs in our offense or any offense. I don't. He's always. I know he's going for that long ball and he's always overthrowing it. And I'm like, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. But I agree with you. And then the running back situation is good to have a bag of riches. So, and this defense looks like it's gonna be top 10, maybe top 15. Mm-hmm. What do you think? You think this defense can be top 15?
I want to give it a month and see because the defense I feel like they might start out a little slow just because of all like the new guys on there, but I feel like if they can get on a roll towards that middle of the season, they could find out, they could come together and find out what works for them, what they're good at, what they're not good at. I think this defense could have potential to be a top 15 defense next year. Right now, I just don't know. There's too many question marks still, even though I'm excited about it. Yeah. But right now, I would say at best they're probably going to be. I could say just past 15, like not into the 20, like maybe 15 to 20, somewhere around that range.
That's still a good place to be because weren't they dead last?
Yeah, it was better than last year. Like 15 spots up better than last year. So
right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, it's hard to go ahead and judge, especially when they're in preseason mode, and it's like we want to see it live. You know what I mean? Like half the time there's so many substitutions during a preseason game, you're not getting the best on like the top guy on top guy matchups, that you would be getting during the season. So,
all right. So, are they going to carry 3 quarterbacks?
I think if they don't eat the contract of PJ Walker, they will. If they're like, you know what, we signed him, it's $2 million. Let's keep PJ Walker because you never know. And Nathan Peterman's the odd man out. I think that's probably the most likely case.
Okay. I mean, you've seen that this GM is aggressive and is willing to make the unpopular deals, the unpopular moves. He even said it when he signed Ngakoue. He's like, you guys kept hounding me to sign this kid. I'm like, here you go. He signed. And he's a stud. So I'm really excited to see the Bears week to week. I think that the defense is going to improve. The offense looks like it's improving. It is an improvement season. It's everybody's like, oh my God, we're gonna go to the playoffs, and if we go to the playoffs, great. This reminds me of the 15 Cubs, where you got a lot of young talent. We just got to see them play together, get that cohesiveness. Yeah, if they make a splash and go to the playoffs, sure, get that experience. But next year, we're coming for your ass. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I don't see. We've talked about like records before, and I said, on the top end, you probably see a 10-win team at best. Like at their very best, everything goes well.
Everybody's healthy.
Yeah. But realistically, realistically and how things work, how things usually typically play out in the NFL, I think you're going to see a team between 7 and 9 wins, probably more likely towards 7.
Yeah.
That's probably that'll be their average, if you want to say that's where I think that they would end up. But hell, if things go badly, God forbid, who knows what this team might be. So let's just take it week by week. I know it's cliche, week by week, assess it after 4 weeks, and then we go from there. This team is just way too young to be like, you know what, they're going to go out and be fucking Super Bowl champions this year. It's just,
how Bears fans are.
It's not realistic. I understand saying, hey, we're going to go out and compete for a playoff spot,
yeah,
a wild card spot, something like that. But there's some people that are like, yep, they're going to win 11, 12 games, and they're going to do this, and it's going to be a quick chain turnaround. And it's like, okay, if you want to continue to believe that, you said that last year.
Right.
You remember you said that they were going to do that last year. I had a bunch of double-digit guys coming over and saying, hey, they're going to go make a run, and say, like, no, dude. No, there's absolutely not. Nobody saw it last year. I don't see it this year. But like you said, if they build and this team, gets to 8, 9 wins and is fighting for a wild card spot, or let's say gets in, to a wild card spot, or just misses, all the potential, all the momentum is going into next season. You have multiple first round draft picks. You have a bunch of money to go sign another free agent or two. You have it all right at your fingertips if you go ahead and have a decent season. You don't have to have a 13-win season for your team to be on that radar of taking the next step next year.
Not at all. I like you said, it's 7 wins is where the marker, what we see where we're going to end up at. 8 wins possibly. If we get the 10 wins, that's gravy. But it's a building year, and we have to keep looking it forward week to week. And kind of like what Lovey said, we got to look at this season in quarters. The first quarter is going to start off slow. We got to get our mojo together, make some adjustments, and move forward. And then second and third and fourth quarters when we should have all of our bearings and running on a full tank and gas. But I got one question before we punt it out of this. I got one more question. Does this GM, as aggressive as he is, make a trade? If we're winning and we're on all cylinders, and our trajectory is to get into the playoffs, is he going to be that aggressive to make a trade to put us over the hump? Because there's not a lot of trades in the NFL. Baseball, basketball, hockey. Trade deadlines. It's crazy, but it's not like that for NFL. Does this GM pull the trigger and make a trade to push him over the edge?
It's tricky because you make big trades like that for let's say a defensive end, a pass rusher. You know what I mean? Somebody who could go get after the quarterback in the playoffs, and you could trust that he you know what I mean? A certified dog that's going to go get after it, get you a bunch of sacks, and put your defense in a position where it's locked down.
You hired an assassin, right?
Another position I could see would be wide receiver. You need a playmaker, but for the Bears, I just don't see. I don't see it. I don't see them making any type of trade this year at all. I think they're going to go in with the guys that they have.
Okay.
If something were to happen, like an injury, then maybe. But as of right now, I could see them just playing it straight and saying, all right, we're going to give all the guys that, all our young guys that we brought in, we're going to give them this opportunity to go prove themselves. And then if something goes, if it goes well, awesome. If it goes wrong, I think they're going to focus on next year's offseason to make any, personnel moves.
Well, you heard it here first from Ivan, and the tape never lies. So we're going to punt it off to commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z in the hot seat. Today it is Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. And you know what? It is time to talk about the winning baseball team in Chicago. It is time to talk about the Cubbies.
Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go!
So
About time.
Yeah, about time. No, I mean, my season's been over for since April. You know, the Cubbies came and conquered the White Sox for the Crosstown. They won 3 out of 4. That last game, I literally was on the betting app and I was like, oh, well, you know, the White Sox had bases loaded and didn't do anything. Let me put some money because I know our bullpen sucks. And it locked me out. It locked me out the entire 9th inning, and I was going to put $20 on the Cubs to win, and it was plus 780. I would have came up with some change and got me a nice steak, but no. Thank you, FanDuel. Thank you very much
For locking you out.
for locking me out.
They know what's up. They know what's up.
Yeah, they fucking know what's up. Like the Simpsons, they know the whole future.
But they know they knew they got the memo about the White Sox bullpen as well. And I was even sitting there, you know, as I watched the whole game, obviously, but I was just like, man, how did we just lose 2 games to this team? Like, the day before was kind of a rough one. Like, I thought we should have won that, but let this guy continue to throw weak ass sliders that just spin up there, and you know somebody's gonna hit it out, and that just happened to be Louis
That was
Robinson.
Hendricks, right? That was Hendricks pitching?
Yeah, was it Hendricks? Yeah.
I think
No. At the time, I don't think it was Hendricks pitching.
Oh, okay.
Well, Hendricks was getting tagged too. Hendricks has been getting tagged, but
Yeah.
no, I was just like, this is done. Like I was pissed, and then, you know, you see the top of the order coming up, and obviously you got to stay, right? You're not going to just get up and go to bed and leave at that point.
Right.
And as soon as Cody hit the double, I was like, okay, we're in business.
Mm-hmm.
Like
100%.
we're in business. Did I think it was going to be a walk-off home run? Fuck no. I thought we were going to manufacture some runs, get 2, and then possibly tie the game. But just seeing Christopher Morel and like the way that he flew around the bag, the way that him ripping the jersey off, it gives me 2016 vibes.
Yes, 100% does.
2015, 2016 vibes.
These guys love to play with each other. They play for each other. They're all on the same side of the rope, pulling the same direction.
Exactly. And it may not be this year. Like, don't get me wrong. It may not be this year. This year might be that 2015 year where they learn how to win.
Mm-hmm.
And they learn, they lose, they learn how to win, and then they go in and they have a great season the year after. I'm hoping that's the case. But like you had mentioned, you said it perfectly. They're all on one side of the rope, pulling together for each other. They love playing. They love the game. They love their teammates. It just it's the polar opposite of what's going on the South Side.
Yeah, the South Side.
Opposite.
The South Side is
honestly,
it's a four-way rope. Everybody's pulling on their own direction. That's what that is.
Exactly. And I thought the White Sox were going to be that team, right? You know, Ricky's boys don't quit. You know, you guys are now they're not Ricky's boys, so they just quit. But no, it's true though. Like I thought they were going to be this team. I thought the Cubs were in bad spot, headed back into some like dark times for the Cubs. But dude, I'm happy.
Yeah, the
it's
Cubs
working out this way.
The Cubs are very surprised coming out of spring training, you look at what you had, like, oh man, we don't really have pitching. Our pitchers are either young or Drew Smiley or some reclamation projects. Our bullpen was great at second half, best bullpen in MLB after the All-Star break last year, but that doesn't always repeat to the next year. The bullpen was shaky. Hendricks was out for a while. Bellinger was out for a while. Like, you had a bunch of adversity over and over and over, and these guys kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Shit, Nicky Two Strikes, this motherfucking midget.
When he hit that home run, I was just like, thanks, Sox.
Yeah.
All Jason Benetti about it. Thanks, Sox.
I think I got that.
Thanks, Cubs.
Yeah. That's exactly what man. I was like, this dude has like 3 career home runs. 2 of them, I think he has 2 of them or maybe all 3 with the Cubs. And I'm like, there's no way of like any other ballpark that shit's caught or it's a single or double.
He's put a charge. I'll say this about Nick Madrigal. It surprised me. It was a shock. But he's been putting a charge into some baseballs as of late. Like, they're obviously not all getting out because of his stature.
Right.
But he's been putting the ball pretty hard. Pretty hard. And I'm not, like I said, I'm surprised it got out, but I'm not totally 100% surprised that, he hit a home run in that spot because he's been hitting the ball really, really hard as of late.
Yeah, he does go on, a good 2 to 3 week, bender of hitting balls. He's always been a contact guy, and that's why we loved him on the south side because he was Nicky Two Strikes. Doesn't matter. He's going to get some contact. He's not going to strike out. He's got to go train with Altuve. Whatever Altuve is eating to hit home runs, he's got to do the same thing because they're almost the same size. But yeah, I mean, I was pissed. I was pissed when that shit hit the basket. I was like, this is the beginning of the end for this game because it literally, you had bases loaded, 0 outs, and 3 strikeouts. Then Nicky Two Strikes hits a home run. I'm like, this is the beginning of the end. And I was like, nope, I'm locked out, motherfucker. And you know what? I've always been a fan of Morales since he came up. He was playing amazing outfield when, you guys were putting him in garbage time. He was hitting great last couple of years. He's a 5-tool stud in my eyes. He's a 5-tool stud. He can play anywhere. He's got power. He's got range. You could put him anywhere in the lineup and he produces. He has to be one of your cornerstones moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because, I mean, look what happened to the other cornerstones that we had that we thought were going to be cornerstones. They ended up getting traded away.
But they were past their prime at that point.
No, not past their prime.
Chris Bryant was past his prime. Baez was past his prime. Look what they've done since they left the Cubs. Absolutely nothing.
But they were in their second and third years of pro ball. Like that.
No. We're talking about like okay, after the World Series, you guys didn't trade them till what, 19? Just 3 years later. After they weren't producing 20? They traded them in 20 in the COVID year?
20?
I know. I think it might have been at the end of 19 into 20.
Somewhere around.
Yeah, because Baez was in Detroit. No, he was in New York by then.
Baez might have been, but I don't know about Bryant. Bryant has been disappointing nonetheless.
How can you not hit in? Well, I mean, they're probably. I didn't watch the last 2 White Sox games. That's a first. I didn't watch 2 straight White Sox games, so I don't know if Bryant played against the White Sox. But how are you not able to hit in the friendliest ballpark in MLB? It's
weird, man. Like, look at Cody Bell. Like, I'm bringing up Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger was hurt, right? Like, he even brings it up. He's like, I wasn't able to control the bat through the zone, so I couldn't keep the bat plane where I wanted it through the zone because he was hurt. So he comes to Chicago. They make some adjustments, get him stronger. Cody Bellinger's he could be an MVP candidate. I'm pretty sure he is an MVP candidate. Comeback player of the year, I think, is definitely
100%
on the horizon. It should be in the consideration.
Yep.
If you get a guy like a Chris Bryant and give him a change of scenery, maybe figure out, hey, you're not as healthy as you thought.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that can help him. But I just don't get it. I don't know. You went from MVP Chris Bryant, and it's not like these struggles weren't showing up during his Cubs years.
Yeah.
After 16, 17, Chris Bryant was often injured, and he just never really had that same form. His every at bat was a hit or miss. You were hoping for there to be a change, but it just never looked like he was comfortable again up at the plate.
I mean,
after a certain point, just never looked like he was that comfortable at the plate again.
Do you think it's because he's been training with his dad? Maybe he needs a new trainer to give him better analytics, better view of things. But like you said, change of scenery, a change. Because boxers do the same thing. Like you get tired, not tired, but you get accustomed to the same voice, and sometimes that voice ain't penetrating to make sense. Sometimes, because I as a teacher, I do the same thing. I may explain, what the assignment is 3 different ways, like a visual, an audio, and let me show you how to do a hand by hand. But sometimes the kids don't get it. And sometimes, what I tell my kids is like, hey, look, if you don't understand what I'm saying, look to your partner, to your right, to your left, and maybe they get it, and maybe they can explain it in a way that you understand that I can't do it. And that's probably what you need, because boxers go through that all the time. Like, I'm going to switch trainers. A change of scenery and a change of voice is probably what he needs. I really think that he should be designated to playing the outfield and not playing third base anymore just because of his back. He's always had back issues. But also, I think he should be in a place where he doesn't have pressure to hit, pressure to be that savior, because he did take a pretty big contract over there in Colorado. I think if he goes somewhere where, the Dodgers, be a platoon player and get revived, go into a winning culture. Look what they did for Lance Lynn. Look what this motherfucker's got 3 wins, and all they told him to do was stop throwing the cutter. That's it. That is all they told him to do. Stop throwing the cutter. It's getting hit. You're just leaving it out there. Everything else, your fastball's great. Everything else is great. Off speed shit's great. Just stop throwing the cutter. And they just literally show him the analytics of what he's been doing. How are the White Sox not able to do that?
I don't know.
It's mind blowing.
And like you said, sometimes it just takes another set of eyes to see what you don't see or what somebody else can't see. And especially with hitting, you need to find there needs to be a balance. You have to have you have to be almost numb when you're up there, right?
You cannot be thinking.
Obviously, you can't be. You're thinking, but you're not thinking about 8 different things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're thinking about the zone. You're thinking about think about timing. You're thinking of certain things, but you don't want to be flustered in here in your head
100%
at the plate, because it's just not going to go well for you. So I think Chris had a lot on his mind in his Cubs years. I think obviously he was becoming a young father, having a young family. I think a lot of those things, real life, ended up, I think it also affected him. I'm not saying it's the reason why he's sucking right now, but obviously it affected him. It was affecting him here in Chicago. I don't know what the hell's affecting him in Colorado, but you would think you got everything, mostly everything you wanted. You moved back out west with your family. You're closer to home. I believe he's from Nevada.
Yeah.
You got kind of what you wanted, but what's the issue? I just don't understand. Maybe it's maybe there's a disconnect between him and the hitting coach, or
and that could be
disconnect. Yeah, disconnect between him and the ball club. I don't know, but this isn't a Colorado Rockies problem. It was a Cubs problem as well.
100%.
So they're not. It's not a brand new thing for Chris Bryant.
No, he only played 42 games last season and hit 306, and it took him a while to get that up. But he's at 65 games right now, batting .251. I mean, it doesn't look good.
How many home runs?
You know what? It doesn't say on the little Google thing here, but I can probably pull that up. I don't know. I think maybe he goes with Bryce, hangs out with his boy, and maybe that'll be better. He has 8 home runs.
8 home runs.
8 home runs
from a guy who, like I said, was an MVP. We're talking about Chris Bryant possibly hitting 40 home runs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then, we're talking about Chris Bryant being a 35, like, and this is like average, a 30, 32 home run guy with over 100 RBIs every year.
Right.
Like, that's how Chris Bryant was talked about when we first drafted him. You gotta think that there's just some disconnect somewhere in his mechanics, in his approach. There's something that's just off with Chris Bryant, because it's an insane drop when you look at his stats, and when you look at his his career in the league. You went from the highest of highs, MVP, World Series, and then now you're here and you just look like an average player. You know what I mean? You don't look you like Chris Bryant. The Chris Bryant name doesn't strike fear into anybody.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's got to be some change going on.
It reminds me of
somewhere.
Chris Davis from the Orioles. Was an MVP caliber, hitting 40 home runs season after season. And then he comes the next season, he can't hit. And it took for him to leave to go somewhere else to kind of get his bearings back. And that's the way it is. Sometimes you get into some bad habits with mechanics. You have a hitch, or you're overthinking, or you can't pick up the spin, whatever it is. Because sometimes I go to the cage and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work on hitting the opposite field. And sometimes I put the phone up there and I'll record myself and I look at my mechanics and I'm like, all right, cool. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? Am I moving my hands too much? Am I dropping them? What am I doing? And then, it's simple stuff for me, but they have all these tools and analytics and coaches. And I know baseball and golf, the hardest thing to do as far as being consistent and hitting the ball correctly. But man, what a fall off.
Yeah. And like, you look at some of the numbers, like, from 15 to 29, he had 18. He was hurt a lot, I believe. So he had only 13. Well, 15, 26 home runs, 16, 39 home runs, 17, 29, 19, 31. And then even at 21, before he was traded, his total, he had 25, 18 with the Cubs, 7 with the Dodgers. And now the 2 years with Colorado, 5 home runs and 8 home runs.
Yeah,
not getting it done.
And it's funny because I remember when he was a free agent, I was like, the White Sox should sign him, put him in right field. Man, shit.
Yeah, RBI has fallen off by the wayside. It's kind of weird, man, because you see Rookie of the Year, MVP, 4-time All-Star, World Series champion, and I don't know what the hell happened to Chris Bryant.
Did his hunger die?
I don't like saying that about a lot of guys, but like, sometimes you have to question it because of what's the aesthetics around the player, right?
Yeah.
So like, you being a new father, you probably want to spend time with family. You're probably getting pulled 12 different ways,
right?
And you're a Major League Baseball player. Like, that's I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but you got to think are other things affecting Chris Bryant.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with baseball players. Look at what Tim Anderson, right? When he had his baby mama drama, when he lost his best friend. Like, some guys can't I can never say that word. They're putting stuff in different boxes, right?
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, I can never say that word. Some people can't just go to work and think about work. Some people are obsessed with what's going on and they overthink and high anxiety and all that stuff. I get that. That's life. That's being human. Some guys are good at it. Like, I'm just gonna go to work and throw myself into work and concentrate on that. And some guys just can't. And as you've seen, Tim's been struggling. And we've seen what Tim's doing, and we've seen when Tim is focused and what he can do. Maybe it's the same thing with Chris. Maybe it's exactly the same thing. Like you said, he's got a new father. He's being a new father. He's pulled in different directions. He wants to be home. He's gone 6-7 months out of the year. I don't know. I really don't know what's up with him. But
yeah.
What do you, before we switch over to the White Sox, anything on the Cubs? Where do you see them going with the next couple of series?
Well, they ended up dropping that first one to
the Royals.
Yeah,
they always kind of drop the first game of the series. It's kind of like lackluster. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Right. There's always, and it's always like a you're in the ball game. You probably should win this game, but and you end up finding a way to lose. And it's like, okay, I guess we could just look past it, but you can't, like, that can't happen in a playoff series.
No, you can't get behind the ball.
Like, that can't. Yeah, you cannot get behind at all. So I don't know. I think it's still the regular season. You could just chalk it up to that and be like, hey, it is what it is. But I don't like them coming out flat, especially in a new series.
Yes.
The brand new series. You had a huge win against the White Sox.
It should have carried over.
Ride that wave.
Yes.
Yeah, ride that wave. Get a second win, and then all of a sudden you get a third win, and then all of a sudden you're in a winning streak.
To the Royals, which one of the worst baseball teams. They're worse than the White Sox. And they had like a 10-game winning streak a couple weeks ago. But they're one of the worst teams in baseball. They traded away all their assets. You should be dominating this series. As simple as that. I know they right now we're recording on Sunday, but they play at 1:20, in an hour. They should definitely take this game. And then they have the Tigers, who are a pesky team. They've been beat.
But these are series you need to take.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was hoping that you get a sweep of the Royals.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, okay, well,
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Best, 2 out of 3, good. And then you're looking at the Tiger series. Hopefully it's 2 out of 3, and then those next 2 series you're 4 and 2. You got
the Pirates for 4 games straight. That's tough.
And the Pirates are going to come to spoil everything.
Yeah, because they started so hot and such a promising team. And then against the White Sox, their main player, their main outfielder, just blew out his knee or whatever it was, sliding at home or whatever.
Reynolds.
Reynolds. Yeah, it was Reynolds. And then you got the Brew Crew at home for 3. 3 games starting end of August.
You need to pad. You need to go ahead and pad the win column with these next 2 series because, like you said, the Pirates and the Brewers. The Brewers are that's who we're looking up at. The Pirates are looking up at us.
Yeah.
And this is playoff time, man. Like I hope these young guys. I don't want them to obviously take it so serious that they go ahead and choke it away, but you got to realize, hey, this is the time where regular season baseball can suddenly become playoff baseball in the blink of an eye because of what's going on in the standings and positioning.
If you look, you're literally playing the Central: Tigers, Pirates, the Brewers. You got the Reds right after. Then you're playing the Giants, who are no fucking joke. You're playing the Diamondbacks, also no joke, because they're fighting for a wild card spot because the Dodgers are just dominating. Then you got the Rockies, the Diamondbacks again, the Pirates again, Rockies again, Braves for 3, and finish the season against the Brewers. Those 3 games at the end of the season might define whether you get in or get out. Like you said, you got to pad those wins, those easy wins right now, because you don't want to be looking up on the last weekend of the season at the Brewers and trying to get in.
No, not at all. And, the Brewers they've been doing well. Like they haven't been, dropping in the standing. So it's going to be tough. Like this is what you're, this is what you want as a player, as a competitor. You want that opportunity to go and put your mark on the season, put your mark on a career, to start, especially with these younger guys.
Right.
But I really hope that they win the games that they need to win, because it all start. I think it starts there. Like we could talk about beating the Brewers, we could talk about the Braves series and stuff like that, but if you beat the teams that you're supposed to beat,
right,
I think it's just easier for you, and it takes less off your plate. Don't focus on these other guys coming in. Beat the teams that you need to beat. Focus on today.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, we got to talk about the White Sox, so let's talk about the White Sox.
We do?
The White Sox, oh my goodness, what a dysfunctional team. I just looked at the scores. Like I said, I did not watch the last 2 games just because I needed a break after that walk-off. I literally needed to decompress and really reevaluate my allegiance. And even though I do have a second team, which is the Dodgers, and doing great, I'm watching those games. But, Jesus, the White Sox, what a effing disaster. What an effing disaster. Let's see. Bob Nightingale is talking about that the White Sox are looking internal for internal review interviews are being conducted to determine whether dramatic changes are needed to be done at the team's front office and or coaching staff. We've been saying this for months, years. You've got a clean fucking house. Go to Atlanta, go to Tampa, go to the Dodgers, and poach the best talent that they have. Build from the bottom and go all the way up. Put that organizational infrastructure in. Everyone is doing the exact same thing from A ball all the way to the major leagues. Everyone's doing the same exact philosophy. Feed the minor leaguers, pay them well, make sure they have great housing, make sure they're well taken care of. Give them all the analytics that they need from A ball all the way up. Stop fucking penny pinching. I hate that this team does that. This team has, I think I read it was like 9 or 17 scouts when other teams have like 40 and 50 scouts. That means you're not doing your job.
Yeah, this is like, it really is a good old boy type of feel. Like, for instance, like if you're close to Jerry, and everybody, I mean, we already know this. You're close to Jerry, you got a job for life.
I need one.
You know what I'm saying?
I need one.
Yeah, right. What's up, Jerry? But seriously, you have a job for life, and it's almost like you could do no wrong, and that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only have 17 scouts. Are those the same 17 scouts that have been there for the past 30 years?
Yeah, like Moneyball.
You know what I mean? Like,
the same guys, the same old guys, and like, oh, that doesn't work.
It's just the same cycle of people coming through. You got issues. The White Sox, the way that they operate, you know, it makes you frustrated. And even as a Cubs fan, like, obviously I'm not 100% involved in in the White Sox, but listening to it, you're just frustrated because it's like, man, I couldn't imagine being held hostage by one owner, you know, by one man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't imagine the Cubs nowadays. Like, I mean, back in the day I could see it, but like nowadays I couldn't imagine like the Cubs like sucking for a while or underachieving and being underwhelming, and them not making a move at the manager position or the GM position, or, you know, something like that. It doesn't make sense for them to continue to play the same cards that they get dealt. They play the same cards over and over. Kenny, Rickon, and Jerry, they're all the same dude when it's all said and done.
I completely agree with you because I'm not. At the end of the day, the White Sox 2005 World Series was a pop-up. It was a perfect storm. Everything went right. They went wire to wire. Never going to be done again. You know, close that book, put it in the coffin, put it in a time capsule. That's the only way you're going to be able to acknowledge it, because it's not going to happen, because they can never build sustained success. They haven't done. I think this last year was the first time they went to the playoffs, or 2 years ago they went to the playoffs back-to-back years. First time in 100-something years. You cannot do that. You have to be like the Braves and the Dodgers, where you're going to build, and you know what? Let's give yourself a chance. Get into the playoffs. You never know what can happen. As long as you get in the playoffs, something can happen, and something good will happen if you're in the playoffs every single year. It took the Braves 10 years to win a championship. Oh, well. I will take 10 years of being in the playoffs and being in a hunt and getting one championship, than getting one championship and dealing with fucking a disaster of organization and reclamation projects. And, oh, look at this guy. He has been out of baseball forever, and let's bring him in. And Adam LaRoche, you and your son, come on in. And, Clevenger, you hit your wife? Yeah, come on in. Like, all these... Allegedly, yes. It's allegedly. All these bad things. Like, why are you bringing guys with bad characters? And why are you letting the clubhouse run itself? You have a bunch of kids, and you had no authority figure. Ricky was the only authority figure that was there, and they fired him. Now, was he?
Now that you look at it, now that you look at it, Ricky was and he wasn't with the Cubs. Like, he wasn't an authoritarian dude with the Cubs. No, but he definitely would look like he was tougher on those guys than oh my god, than Tony.
Oh yeah,
than Tony and Pedro. Oh. Looks like he looks like he was holding them accountable as younger players. better
was.
than the last next two managers.
Anytime Eloy or Yohan didn't run hard at first or were lackluster on the field, he pulled them out of the game. Hey, sit down right here next to me. Now you're going to watch the game. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the game. He was a teacher. He was a father figure. And that's why they loved him, because he held everybody to the same standard. And there was no need for a person to be outspoken. Even Tim, who's supposed to be outspoken, didn't really speak out of turn when he was with Ricky. Look what happened with Tony. Oh, yeah, he's an old dude, but, whatever. He lets me do whatever I want to do. Well, that was the beginning of the end of the White Sox right there. When you let them do whatever you want to do. You got to remember, these kids already got their bag. They got that 6, 7, 8 year contract. They got their bag. They don't really care. Yohan's like, I'm going to go make music videos. I'm going to get my new romper line out.
I think that was, looking back, it was definitely a mistake.
100%.
Pay them right away. I get where if it worked out, you look like a genius, I guess. But
his defense is great. It's just his bat and his health is just horrible. Like, I would have ponied up and gave the Boston Red Sox more to get Rafael Devers. Because they wanted Devers, and Boston's like, nah, I would have gave them even more. Here's some more cash. Here's whatever you need, but I want Rafael Devers. And look what that kid's doing now. I mean, the White Sox are a frustrating team to be a fan of, and we do have a strong fan base. And I know Cubs fans are always like, look, your stadium's empty. We average 25,000 people. It looks empty just because everyone's on the lower bowl and everybody likes to walk around. End of story. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna compare apples and oranges. You guys have a full ballpark and it looks beautiful and it's a good time to go to. No arguing that. But you also have a winning team. That helps. If the White Sox had a winning team, they would show up. We're not Tampa Bay. We're not Miami that are averaging 18,000 fans and have a winning team. That's not us. But when the team sucks, the fans don't show up. And rightfully so. Now the problem is, then Jerry was like, well, you guys didn't show up, so we're not going to spend any money. That's not how it works. You're getting a $100 million check day one of baseball from all the TV contracts. You've got money. I don't want to hear it. Every year parking goes up. Every year the stands, the concessions go up. I don't want to hear you don't have money in the third largest market in baseball. It's very, very simple. Spend the money. Put people in place that are going to get you to win. You've got a clean house. I'm sorry. I was a big fan of Rick Hahn and how he tried to turn around this team. But if you're handcuffed by the people above you, then you know what? You're not standing you don't have the balls to say no. I would have been like, no. If that's going to do, then fire me. I will find another job. I'm sorry.
He's got to look to, well, if they get fired. Right, that's Kenny. And
they won't get fired. They get moved up.
Fired.
They get moved up. You know how that goes.
Right. Yeah. They get fired up. I'm sorry. I lost my concept. If they get fired, they're going to end up moving more bodies this offseason, like more than they did during the trade deadline. Like, I think you really need to look into.
Tim's got to go.
Tim. You got to look in. Is he a free agent?
No, you got one more year. Club option.
Okay, one more. Okay,
12 million.
You're looking to move Tim. You're going to take inquiries about Yohan, Eloy. The only one that's safe is Lou Bob. I think, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, he'd be the only guy that I wouldn't move.
On the main roster, Lou Bob is the only one. Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease. Okay.
1 and 2.
So Cease and Robert, those guys are
untouchable.
A hard no. But even with that being said, if you got an offer that you can't refuse, then I mean, even that is up for discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it would have to be obviously for Cease and for Luis Robert. It would have to be some type of murderers. Just treasure trove of gifts. And I don't think you could find that anywhere. What the White Sox would be asking for. So, like I said, Yohan, Eloy, guys like that, guys that are just like, we don't know who you are yet.
Yeah,
we still don't know who you are after years of playing with in the major leagues. We don't know what type of player you are yet, and either you're injured or you're doing some goofy in the outfield, or you're not hitting. In Yohan's case, like, there's always something with them. So I feel like those guys are definitely on the bubble this offseason.
Yeah, them and the training staff, because if they're not working out, you're not holding those guys accountable. It goes back to the same thing, right? They're not doing their workouts. They're not running the first hard, during warm-ups. And
working out at Wings and Rings. That's where they're working out at.
That's right. Like our kind of workout.
Yeah.
All right. The White Sox finish up their series today as we're recording on Sunday against the Rockies. It'll probably be another loss because, the Rockies have been putting football scores on our ass. And we got the Mariners at home, the Athletics at home. Boo-hoo. We go play the Orioles. You're going to get spanked. The Detroit, the Royals. I got one White Sox game still to go to, and that's in September. It might be September something. It's for the Day of the Dead. So we're on September 15th, September 16th. That's the only reason I'm going to get that bobblehead and to eat good food. I'm not really expecting the White Sox to be winning any more games. But I'm going to have a good time there. But you know what? Ivan, if you get some cup tickets, I'll go see your team.
Yeah, that's fine. I haven't seen the Sox game this year. Usually I go to one.
Yeah.
But I haven't been there this year, and I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't go at all.
I mean, we can go. It'll be super cheap. We can go like on a Wednesday and shit. Get tickets for $5.
I'm down with that. Like, I don't mind it. I want to watch good baseball, so I'll watch the other team.
Exactly. It's kind of like when the Bulls sucked, and you'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna go watch Kobe and LeBron and Bosh for cheap."
I still can't believe they advertised that.
Oh yeah.
Come see other teams.
Yeah, that's what they did, man. All right, we'll be right back with Stirring the Pot after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to Nowhere on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans with Big Z and Ivan from the Tape Never Lies Network. Hey, brother, it's that time again. And if you don't know what time it is time for Stirring the Pot. Ivan, I talked about it last week by myself, so it's kind of weird to get feedback when no one's on the other side of the microphone. And I want to get your opinion on this because, you're a foodie just like I am. Panda Express is getting into the sandwich business, and they are putting out a orange chicken sandwich. Now, is this something that you would try, yay or nay?
Oh, man. To be honest with you, yes. It sounds very enticing because I love some orange chicken.
Right. Who doesn't?
But it's like, how are you going to do this? Is it are you going to add stuff to it, or is it going to still be just is it just orange chicken on bread? What is?
All right, I'll break it down for you. It's a crispy breaded chicken breast tossed in sweet and spicy orange chicken sauce, as many we know and love, and then it's topped with a crunchy dill pickles and a zippy sriracha aioli, and all nested in a hearty potato roll.
I'll try it.
I'm down to try it. I've got to find one of these Panda Express that offers it, because I think the one by the University Village, I think that's just an express, so I doubt they have it there. Probably gonna have to go to a mall for a food court or something. But I mean, who doesn't love orange chicken? And then a little bit of sriracha is good in your life. There's a shortage. I think still a shortage. I don't even know.
The pickles is where I'm questioning.
I'm not a pickle guy.
You're not a pickle guy at all. I like pickles, but it's like that's what I meant. It's like, are you gonna add something that changes the taste of the orange chicken?
Right.
And I feel like a pickle would
the sourness
just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm down to do it. I'm see if I can find one, and maybe one year in the studio we can do a taste test live on air, because
Oh, dude, hell yeah. Talk about eating. We're talking about eating.
I'm there. All right, that's exactly what I said last week. I'm down to try it. Let's do it. But before we go, what you watching? What you looking at that isn't sports?
Damn, dude, that isn't sports.
Yeah.
I really got nothing right now.
Really? No shows?
Nothing. I've been to be honest, I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show.
Oh.
So I've been playing a lot of the show lately.
Are you good?
I suck.
Oh, okay, there it is.
I think I suck. I think I suck, but I'll say that I sucked worse when I first purchased it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it. I haven't played the show in years.
Which show is this?
This is the new one, the 23 with Jazz Chisholm on it.
So you got a PS5 or Xbox?
Yeah, I got a PS5. So
okay.
I was frustrated for the first month.
100%.
Right, playing it, because I'm like, how in the fuck am I not hitting this baseball, bro?
Yeah.
I'm watching the ball all the way in, perfect, and it's still a little dribbler to the pitcher. It's what the hell's going on? But then, look at some videos and you listen to some other players and their strategies and how their approaches, and you get better. So I'm getting better, but I still suck.
That's how I feel too, because I was telling you off air that I played MLB 15, and I haven't played it in about 2 years. It's literally saved on the hard disk, because you can do that back then with the PlayStation, and I everything I hit was it's the third base, it's the shortstop, it's a dribbler to first base. I'm like, either I'm pulling it or I'm pushing it. What am I doing wrong? I need the ball in the air, or it'd be a line shot to the left fielder. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And it took me a while. It took me about 4 or 5 games to figure it out. It's just the timing of it. Also, when I was putting the left joystick, because it has a pressure sensor, when I would push down, it would check swing. And I was because you want to pull it or push it or you want to swing upwards, but because I'm so right, I'd push it down and it would check swing, and it's like, okay, I need just to relax, let the ball come all the way in, watch it all the way through, and literally have to talk to myself like I'm in a batting cage, just watch the ball all the way in. And the last game is just at 4 a.m. I hit 8 home run. I hit 9 home runs in one game, 3 with one guy that I pulled up from the minors. And for some reason, this kid that I pulled up from the minors is just raking. But it's a very frustrating game, especially the hitting part. I don't know how people do it. I guess I need to watch some more YouTube, but I also need a PS5. But I'm really good at the pitching part. I can, there's a hot and cold zones, but I mix up the pitches. I have Salvador Perez on my team, so I'm like, whatever you call, bro. You call it, I throw it. It's going. But no shows, man. That's surprising.
Yeah, no, I haven't been watching anything. Nothing crazy, man. I'm watching reruns of Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Watching reruns of The Office and stuff like that, but nothing new.
Gotcha.
Nothing new or nothing noteworthy.
Okay. What I've watched is the what is it called? The Dark Side of the Ring. You know what that is? It's a documentary where they talk about different. Every episode's a different wrestler, and they have the whole new seasons out there. They're about 44 minutes. Great stories, and it's narrated by Chris Jericho. I think it's his series. So I think he's owner or whatever, producer, and. The first one I watched for the second season, it wasn't in any order, but I watched the Marty Jannetty story. Holy shit, is that dude fucked up in the head?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he is so fucked up in the head, and then he just tells these stories that are just extravagant, unbelievable. But yeah, his leg is this big, and he hasn't taken care of it. He's still trying to wrestle. I'm like, you gotta let it go, bro. You're gonna have a heart attack. You're gonna have an aneurysm. It's pretty bad, and it's very sad to see these, because most of these stories are very, very sad, because it's the dark side of wrestling, right? The drugs, the rock and roll lifestyle back in the 80s and 90s, and how the toll is taken on them now, and they can't let it go. They can't let it go.
No, man. Well, they because those guys are like reaching, and also I lied. Hard Knocks. I'm watching Hard Knocks with the Jets. But no, like you had mentioned, man. Like these guys, I guess it could happen to anybody. You reach a certain status. You reach this certain
notoriety.
How do I say it? Yeah, notoriety. Like you're being held up on a pedestal. You have thousands of people every night cheering for you, or just there watching you do stuff.
It's like the Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen still fucking touring at 70.
It's a drug, man.
It is a drug.
It's a legit drug, because it, like, if you've never had a bunch of like thousands of people, like I can remember like a few football games that might have had like maybe 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe a couple of games that I played, maybe there was 1,000 people there. But other than that, like, having that experience and doing it over and over and getting that and that energy that is pretty much absorbed by you as a
100%.
performer, that shit's addicting, man. It's a drug. Like, it really is.
Yeah, and I completely agree. But like, I've never played to that extent. I played at the Park District and I did some stuff at high school, but I never had like a big crowd like that. But what I can equate it to is like, you go to Wrigley and it's, 42,000 strong and you feel that energy. When you're watching a playoff game and you're at home or at the bar, you feel that energy. We score a touchdown or, we hit a 3-pointer to win the game. You feel that energy, that rage of joy, and it feels so good because it vibrates through you. When the Blackhawks won the 3 goals in 17 seconds and all this stuff, like, I can't even imagine what it was like to be in the building, and I felt that at a bar. So yeah, comedians, right? They're one of their drug is to get laughter, and they can't leave it alone. They got to keep touring. They got to do clubs, and it's like, what's wrong with me? I also seen there's a dark side of comedy too, and those are really good. The Chris Farley story and all that stuff. So those guys, they crave that. They have to be on, and sometimes they don't know how to turn it off. The Robin Williams, the Chris Farleys, all the Belushis, all that stuff. Like you said, it is a huge drug. It's adrenaline that you're trying to catch that lightning in a bottle, and it's hard. And I get it, because when I'm teaching, sometimes I feel like I'm on and I'm busting jokes and I'm having a great time, and there's days that my jokes fall flat and I'm like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I think that's it for today. Yeah, I really haven't been watching. I'm almost done with The Flash. I've been falling asleep the last couple episodes because it's the same fucking shit over and over. I'm trying to just finish it. Trying to get through it. I was just in it for all the cameos from other movies and other shows. But I'm on season 7. I think I got 2 more seasons, about 19 episodes. So I'll sleep through those. I think that's it. Let's see. Oh, Winning Time. I started Winning Time.
Oh, okay.
The second season. I don't know if you've seen the first season.
No, I haven't seen it either.
Oh, it is so
I'm going to check it out. Yeah,
it is so good. It is so good. But yeah, I think that's about it. I've been trying to clean this damn fucking house for years. I have so much. I'm looking at the kitchen. There's memorabilia in the kitchen. I have a Michael Jordan, a Derrick Rose, canvas thing. I have Bears footballs. I'm like, I need a bigger house. All right, Ivan, thanks for coming on. That's it for today. I know you got to get going. Everyone, thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago. Use our promo code TrueFan15 at the checkout for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Get your shirts now. Check out the rest of 606 Media lineup, which is the No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean, a pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny trivia, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. All new episodes every single Monday. Shout out to Ronesh, Panic, Serious Beats, and custom made for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your moment merch and gear. All right, y'all. For Ivan, thank you so much, sir. I am Big Z, and we'll see you guys next time for episode 158. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth. Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Show's over, show's over, show's over.